Sights up, seers. Yeah. You see me. I see you. Tap in. Tap in. Tap in. Tap in. Tap in. You know what I'm saying? What up though? We getting right into it.
Willie D Live.
It's Willie D, y'all, back with another episode of information and instructions to help you navigate through this wild, crazy, beautiful world. In the studio, Damon Dash.
It's an honor.
You know, your name is short. You know, it's Damon and Dash. I want to keep it going like Dash. You know, you did that, dog.
Yeah,
You did that.
I appreciate that.
What?
You that dude, man.
Thank you.
You wake up feeling yourself sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pause like every day.
Yeah.
You know, when you get in the ring, you can't get in the ring thinking you're going to lose.
Right.
There's a confidence you have to have when you know you got to fight. And, you know, I'm a person that chooses to do things that come with a fight.
Yeah.
So every day I have to wake up and be like, I got to get ready to fight. So that means I have to give myself affirmations and make sure I'm 100% confident. So, yeah, I definitely give myself compliments all day.
I saw the interview that you did with Shannon Sharp, and Shannon kept trying to back you up against a wall about entrepreneurship, ownership. Y'all were talking about owning football teams, the NFL teams specifically. And Shannon said, well, what about the people that don't want to own? And you said something that was so prophetic to me. You said, they don't have to, but I'm going to fight for them and make sure they don't get abused. God damn, bro. Dude, man, that was heavy. That actually sent chills through my body because I feel it. I feel your love for our people, bro.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that.
You know, we look at our culture like our family. So if you see someone in your family being abused, even especially if they're being abused by someone else in your family, you know, it concerns you and you feel that pain. Or if you see someone in your family getting bullied, you almost look at it like they're not respecting you. You know?
Right.
So I kind of take it personal. That's the fuel for my fight. Because I know I'm going to be all right, you know? But a lot of times, the things that I want to accomplish require people to dream bigger and to think different. So I don't think people don't know how to dream. I just think they forgot. So I just try to be like, you know, if you don't think about or visualize actually doing something, if you can't see it, it's not going to happen. If you can't see the W, it's going to be an L.
Right.
You know, so just trying to change the mentality and trying to get collectives of people to come together means you almost have to fight for them to wake up. But once they do, they're usually in the right trajectory, you know.
How frustrating is that for you to try to convey that type of spirit to our people, to many of our people? I know a lot of us do get it. But some of us, it seems to me that we're always waiting on a leader. We're waiting on somebody else to start it off when the leadership starts within.
Mm-hmm.
How frustrating is that to you? To like when, and especially when you tell people how you feel or what you're thinking, and they try to project their trepidation on you, like.
Well, I have boundaries. My boundaries are if you're not dreaming, I know that it's a trigger for me. So if you're trying to kill my dreams because you won't fight for yours, it offends me. But trying to coach people or help people that are protecting people that are hurting them and fighting me for helping them, yeah, I mean, I'm human. And it becomes almost, I had to learn not to take it personal, almost like it's a human algorithm that people just generally do. The overcompensation so they don't have to work. You know, because when you have a dream, it comes with a fight. You know, every war comes with battles. Life is a war, and it's a war that we need to win, and it takes years to win it, and it doesn't happen overnight. I don't know any one person on the planet that doesn't have problems or something they have to deal with. The test is how you deal with it.
Right.
So again, if I'm going to be fighting, I don't want no petty problems. I'm not a petty guy. I expect big problems, you know? So when they come, I'm not bothered because I know it comes with the game and it's always the darkest before the dawn. But, you know, I watch people react to things the same way time and time again and with the same result. So it's like, how could you keep reacting the same way and you don't like the result? How do you expect a different result if you keep reacting the same way? You have to do something different.
So I'm just pause because like as he's saying that, I'm sitting there thinking about the fact that it's like, I mean, I'm throwing out videos more and more now. Hopefully you tuned in. If you're not tuned in, tap in. I got a bunch of stuff on here. I mean, it's gonna be more coming forth later. Sub if you can. I appreciate you. Hit the like button if you like it. If you don't, I mean, you can fake it or just don't do nothing. Either way is cool. If you don't like it, comment what you didn't like. How can I get better? I appreciate you. But what I'm kind of seeing is because I really have a core message inside of me that I'm trying to bring forth is like I'm gonna be saying a lot of the same stuff. And it don't matter what video I'm watching. Like I'll be watching all type of stuff, but somehow my pauses and I end up saying some of the same stuff because it's like it's a core message that I'm trying to get forth. But at the same time, it's not new. It's like if I'm talking to anybody, I'm talking to the youth, because to the elder generation and those before me or those who should be on my peer generation, it's like y'all should know better. Everybody should know better. It's like we should already know like what we should know. And if you don't know, it's because you don't want to know or you're not trying to know. It's like you have choice at a certain point, so make better choices, you know? But to the youth, it's like, yeah, they need direction still. So, yeah, we need to be guiding them on the right paths of how to, you know, incorporate the right behaviors to actually attain the things that they dream for and actually see the things that they believe, actually manifest the things that they are trying to visualize, because it is all possible. But it comes with that fight that he talking about. It's like, it's not just gonna be handed over. You know what I mean? You got the world gonna make you actually prove that that's what you want. And when you think about life, it's about living. You ain't got nothing else to do but to live. So you might as well, you know what I mean, live for that and actually pursue that, other than being a puppet in somebody else's, you mean, play. Why be a puppet to a puppeteer when you could be the puppet master? You feel me? Here we go. I don't even know who this is. Hold on. Hello? Blessings. How can I help you? Hello? Oh no, not today. All right. Be directed and not distracted. We continue.
Wherever you're at right now, unless you do something different, you're going to stay exactly where you are. Whether you like where you're at or you don't. There will be no different result unless there's a different action before it. So this repetitive excuse and entitlement not to work, or especially people that don't work on weekends and holidays, I hate that. Like, what do you want a weekend from? A life you hate?
Yeah.
I would not stop working until I love my life.
Every single day.
You know what I'm saying? Or I was just talking about, like,
I don't even
we're programmed to only go on holidays a couple of times a year. And when they tell us to,
but
you know,
I don't see it that way.
Even like July 4th is the funniest day to me. Independence Day. And I'm living Independence life. So there's only going to be one day a year that I'm not independent, and I'm going to be independent every other year. So you work for somebody every year.
It's a special Independence Day.
I mean, yeah, special ed Independence Day, you know, but it ain't my Independence Day. It's almost like life, and there's certain things that I just observe that don't make sense. Like, if it's illegal to drive drunk, why is there a parking lot in a bar? That doesn't make sense. It's a trap. You know what I mean? But why is the world set up like this?
I like it.
It is obvious. It's like, just because someone does something and sets it up doesn't mean it's right if it don't make sense.
Yeah, you hit a home run on that structural work ethic because I used to do my podcast 6 days a week, and I would take off on Sundays. And I realized one day that I ain't really doing nothing
On Sunday.
more important on these Sundays. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I got the energy, I got the will.
And you enjoy it.
Why am I not doing this thing 7 days a week?
Facts.
I mean, I like to do it. I like doing it. When you think about McDonald's didn't say, okay, we're number one now, so we're going to close on the weekend. They said, no, we're going to open on the weekends. In fact, we're not going to close at 10 o'clock. We're going to close at midnight. And then they decided we're going to have some 24-hour McDonald's open. So they just keep pushing.
And no block I ever hustled on closed on Sundays.
Right.
We was clicking every day, all day.
Right.
So, again, there's a control factor as well. So, you're told when to collectively go on vacation. So you actually go on vacation with a bunch of people you was at work with. How is that a vacation? It's just being around a bunch of people in a different environment.
Right.
That's why I don't like going on vacation when everyone goes on vacation. I got to see everybody.
Right.
It's more of a business thing for me. You know what I'm saying? So it's exactly that. If you love what you do and there's no rules that come with them, you're going to work when you feel. And if you like what you do, you'll do it all day long. If it's your dream, why would you not do it and do it till you're the best at it?
Facts.
So the trick is to figure out what you love to do and make that your profession. But we're trained to do things we don't like. It starts with school. You're trained to sit behind a desk for 8 hours a day while the sun is up in dim light with walls that look like jail and hospital walls. And you're supposed to get used to that and then pay to do it again when you get out of school to get back in college, then pay it off by sitting behind a desk and doing exactly what they trained you to do. And no one that's teaching you business is a millionaire. No one that's teaching you about...
Just 3 weeks and we'll be in England.
What if England don't like...
about music has a hit record? It doesn't make sense. So I got kids in college that listen, and I say this, my son listens to his professor more than me about business. He goes to school for business. I'm like, your professor ever made $1 million? Who pays your professor? So why are you listening to him before me? You know what I mean? Why are you in their school and not mine? I never saw school on any hieroglyphic. Have you?
Absolutely.
I never saw school in any pyramid or any of that. I think parents are supposed to teach their kids.
Mm-hmm.
But you're trained to give your child away to an adult you don't know, to teach your kid how to survive in life. And they're not surviving the way you... That's why when I was in school, I was like, yo, I'm 16 with a better car than you. Why would I listen to you? Even though I might have had it for the wrong reasons at that moment, there was nothing that person was doing or had that I wanted.
Facts.
There was no knowledge they can give me. Like, I work with the OSG. That's a couple of hundred black principals or principals from economically challenged places. And what they tell me and what I've learned, a couple of things. Number one, if your reading scores are low, you go into jail. That's the metrics. That's the algorithm, Number two, if you give a kid love, but you don't teach them how to survive or how to read, you're hurting them. Number three, a kid can only retain 45 minutes of an 8-hour day anyway, so their class should only be 15 minutes. So the rest of the stuff they're giving you was a distraction, the things you don't need to know. A kid is on his phone all day. So why wouldn't you put school on the phone, on demand, 15-minute classes and have it done by a person that inspires them? Because you might not want them inspired. Why would you waste 8 hours of a day? Really, it's a babysitter, That's what school is used for most parents. But why do parents mostly have to take care or put their kids in school? Because they got to go to work. So it's all to divide. I go to the kids' the kids' prisons in Chicago.
And he started from the beginning about the work
I go to
thing,
this prison,
it's
a kids' school in a prison.
The whole
No windows,
cycle.
no outdoor space. As soon as they get there, they drugging them up.
Work, school,
It's called the
and
CUT
jail.
program. And it's the line item is therapy. They tell you the more drugs you take, the quicker you can go home. I'm going through the jail. I'm seeing all of this. And I'm asking the superintendent, because the principal's the one that put me on. And I'm like, what's their?
That's a crazy cycle. Because when you think about the ones that are not on it, they don't do any of those things. They don't work, they don't go to school, and they don't go to jail. The people who don't go to school in the right way, it's like, don't go to school for learning. The people who are learned outside of school don't work. They live their profession. Like, their life is their profession. They just live and produce. And they don't go to jail. There's probably a better way I could articulate that, but it's a cycle, and I get it. Certain people are on one cycle, and there's another set of people on another cycle.
They keep talking about de-escalation. I'm like, well, what's their reading scores? 4th grade. You know the recidivism rate will be 100% then. 4th grade, but you're going to put them back in the street addicted to a drug. The only time they can get it back is to get back into jail with no education. After you just mentally abused them and kept them breathing recycled air, they don't get to go outside. You know, no therapy. The only therapy they had was white women in there, walking around with jackets around their waist, all in a group. How can a white woman talk to a kid with a body without being scared of judging them? And how could a therapist not know that? So I'm like, well, why are you doing this? Oh, I know why you're doing it. Why you don't even have a black woman, or why isn't there a man in here to teach these kids how to be men? Because it's a cycle to get them used to coming back. Now, the worst part about it is for every kid that's in that jail, $1.2 million a kid. And the kid can't even afford to get a toothbrush. They don't get none of that money. So it's a private sector jail. People are getting paid to destroy our children like a commodity, so they become adults that go to an adult prison. And that's the cycle. And that's what has to change. And we can't wait for somebody to change it. We got to change it ourselves. Because why would they change it?
Facts.
It's working for them.
Shout out to RZA.
We have become a commodity so that people could skim on us over a jail bed. The more we go to jail, the richer somebody individually gets. If you own a hotel, your job is to have people return.
Fill the beds.
A jail ain't nothing but a hotel with bars on it that's funded by or paid for by the government.
Fill
So
the
your
beds.
intention is to have them come back. While you're in jail, you're not allowed to make no money. How could you take somebody off the street for 10 years, they can't make no money, you don't educate them on how things are currently going, and put them back on the street knowing without an education, you're going back. 80% of people that leave the jail, that don't have a place to go, they come back. So these things are things we all know. We know how to fix them, but we don't. So that seems intentional. So I'm not going to let the person who's hired to torture my culture, I'm not going to depend on him to change things. I'm going to torture him, and I'm going to change things. And I'm going to leverage my celebrity so that I can bring awareness to the things that matter and the people that are fighting. So the OSG, those are the principals. Those should be the celebrities. The principal that's in that jail every day, because I walk in there, and I'm in there for an hour. I walk out sad. Girls be with me crying, and we need therapy. They doing that every day. You know, we've been working with now the mayor of Gary. He was a senator before. What I learned from him is, you could really pass a law. If you write it up right, lobby for it, you could make a change. So I've watched him make changes based on conversations we have. He'll write the shit up, go lobby for it, and come back, and diabetes medicine is cheaper. And then, when something works in the state, it goes federal. So what I'm talking about is answers. We know the problems, but in order to actually fix things, you got to get in there and do it yourself. I don't like education. So what we do, my girl writes a book, Dusko Goes to Space. We personally go into the schools and teach the kids how to dream. I don't like the books the kids, they got for my kid, we make our own. I don't like the TV that people watch, so I made my own, America New. Now, I'm going to talk about that. Because I'm assuming this is getting monetized on like YouTube and all that. Do you know how much you make from YouTube? What the split is?
I know exactly what the split is.
It's like
What?
60-40, right?
Right, I mean, that's my business.
No. Meaning not your business. Meaning you don't know how much YouTube gets for an ad.
Well, here's it. So
Well,
here's,
let me just tell you.
No.
So it's $6 billion. Last quarter, YouTube made $6 billion off of content creators. They only paid out $100 million. So that means if they're getting $6,000 worth of ads, they only giving you $100.
Right.
So they never give you an accounting on how much they get on the ad. So the reason why I never looked at YouTube, because I'm like, yo, I'm talking about being smart, but you jerking me. And plus, I don't trust Lior. Period. Anything he doing, I don't trust. I know what he did with music.
Let me interject real quickly about, because I definitely had to ask you about Lior. What in the hell did Lior do to you? Because I've heard you a few times
Lior
talk
is
about
music.
Lior. I don't know the man from
It's
Holy
not what he
Land.
did to me, it's what he did to our culture. And what I watched him do to other people.
I think Susan
What
Wozniak is the CEO.
What's the gripe?
He's not from our
YouTube.
culture. And he pushes
What does
people and
Leon
monetizes
Cohen
the
have to do with
dysfunction
it?
of our culture. And he doesn't teach us how to actually make a certain kind of money and keep it in ownership. He teaches us to work for
Honestly,
him. He robs us.
Google
I've watched
owns
him do
YouTube,
it.
so
So when we first started to work
really
with Leo, and he
own
broke up
Google.
Rockefeller, to me, it was definitely, I'm not going to say that it's another man just got made to do something, but he was the one that would always give someone that option.
Was Russell there at the time?
Well, Russell, that's another thing. I didn't like the way he treated Russell. I thought he robbed Russell.
They wasn't equal?
Well, what happened was after they sold the company that Russell brought, they hired Lior. So then Lior didn't own Def Jam, but he still ran it. He worked for Universal. So I would watch Russell come in with a project, and it would be like Lior would have him waiting in the lobby and shit like that.
Lior made Russell
Isn't that
Simmons wait in the
not like
lobby?
that, but meaning they wouldn't just give him a deal. They weren't fairly treated, and that's Russell's business, so I don't want to get into that. But I could just tell you, I'd be sitting in the club with Russell and Lior, and I'd be like, yo, why you mess with him, man? He just so disrespectful to you. Like, why you even... And I'd be in this... And he'd be like, chill, I don't deal with things that way. Well, I'm going to deal with it for you. Like I said, I used to take it personal. I was in the... You remember when his appendix exploded? Mm-hmm. I was at the hospital. I didn't know his mother was in there. And she said some real foul... I mean, it was so racist, I couldn't believe it. Like, yo, you better get your mother. Like one of those. Because she didn't really understand I was in the room. So she said, I forgot.
What'd she say?
It was some nigga shit. Put it like that. It was something that I was like, she was like, yeah, she just old or whatever. I was like, yo, you wildin'. Like, I couldn't believe
what
it.
she said. What you think she said? What you remember?
It was something it was years
you
ago.
remember.
It felt like nigga.
Whatever piece you remember.
I saw you, when you hear nigga, it's a feeling. It's not, I hear other people say
You heard
nigga all
that
day,
word?
it don't bother me. I know when it bothers me. It bothered me.
Did you hear the word?
I told you, I don't remember.
Relax.
It felt like it. It was like 10, 15 years ago, but we had to have an argument over. So I was like, it felt like something that was that racist. It was so many things. When I first got with Lior, the first thing he did was try to make me have a beef with another black person on his behalf. And I was like, he said, you with me, right? If you with me, then you got to go to war with me. I said, bro, I got a lot of beefs on the street. You going to go to war with me? Let's not do that. Then I asked him.
What the heck? What?
Tim, how much is rich? What's a wealthy guy? You know what he told me? $600,000 after taxes. I never liked the way he would have, and again, I don't like to go off on another man. He ain't here. So, bottom line is, I don't like the way he would treat my culture still. I didn't like the way he talked to the culture. There would be times that he would be saying things, and like I'd be with like Beanie Siegel or something, and he'd say something that was so offensive, unknowing, unconsciously, just demeaning. And Beanie would be ready to knock him out, and I'd have to bark on him so Beanie didn't do nothing to him. You understand? I'd be like, I got it, don't worry. Like, he was just an offensive person. What he couldn't understand about me is that I could have white people working for me. Because he thinks black people can only have black people working for him. So when I would walk in and have anybody white in my staff, he'd go to the side and go, are you okay? You let me know if they're treating you wrong.
Blink twice.
I swear to God he did that shit. Yeah, the blink twice, the napkin. He used to do it to every one of my assistants or anyone from that culture. No disrespect, but this is what he used to do. So I could go on and on and on and on and on. And also, I just think that every Batman needs a Joker, and he's that clown. So that's it. And I think everybody's scared of him, and I'm not, because of the color of his skin. And it's like he's the poster boy for why you're scared of him. You know what I mean? He's that guy to me. I just don't like how he exploits our culture. And then when he got on the radio and tried to say, who's Damon? And he actually got on the radio and said, yo, I know what they're doing, but I got to eat. How could you like a man that would do that?
I saw that interview on
So
Breakfast
then
Club.
why you don't have a problem with him? That would be my question. How could you not have a problem with that man? He's not from our culture. He eats off us all day and he makes money off our dysfunction. Why? And then trust him with YouTube? That's how they're killing us. So people aren't even conscious of how they pay out at YouTube or Tubi or any of those things. So what I did was, because I was like, I'm not a herd, especially if he's over there, it's not right. So I use YouTube for marketing, but I went and built my own network. And let's say YouTube gets the ads from Pablo. I went around YouTube and I get the ads from Pablo. So instead of them getting that $6 billion, I get that $6 billion. If I want to split it with a creative, then they'll get $3 billion, I'll get $3 million. But it ain't gonna never be $100 million to $6 billion. But I understand it because no one's asking. Does it make sense to get a million views and only make $7,000? That don't make no sense. So that means that the way that I'm seeing things, if any dollar anyone makes at YouTube, if you were really getting paid what you're supposed to, you would be making 100 times more, 100x, not 10x, 100x. So that's why I launched American New. And that's a real network, broadcast live. It looks like y'all doing a lot of stuff here, but you could get on it right now. And the ads are Nike and all that. So no one teaches us about the ads. They're just teaching us about how it feels to understand when people are viewing you and it feels good. And that takes the place of the money that you're supposed to be making, the fame it gives you. And no one's asking about why they're not getting no money. Those are the questions I ask. The breakdown doesn't make sense, then I got to do an investigation, but I'm never going to be that Johnny. Like, you're never going to be making me do all this work and you're getting the lion's share. It just doesn't make sense. It's the same exact thing that happened in the music business. If there was robbery in the music business, anytime there's a new business, there's robbery. So you have to look for it. You could never think that on the internet and all this new money and BPMs and all of that we not getting completely robbed. No one's even asking. No one challenges the bust down or the split. No one says, let me see how much money you made off that Nike ad. They just want to know how much they're getting. I don't know how much you getting, so I'm not going to do that. I got to know how much. And when I work with my creatives, there's a dashboard. We made this much off a Nike ad. You get 60%, I get 40. Let's go eat. But I'm not going to sit there now because my culture is creatives now. So now I'm going to go put him out of business in YouTube too. Because he can't make no more music because his only, to me, his only business model was robbing niggas. And nigga meaning people that aren't smart. Not black people, people that are in a tight situation that will do anything to get out of it. And by the time they realize they've been robbed, they owe or they in jail.
Your company is American New, right? You said
that's my family's company.
That's your
That's the
family's
network,
company.
yeah.
Okay, so
I work for my family.
When someone wants to go search your company, what search engine do they use?
To go on American New?
What's typically like?
Well, right, it just launched, so you could go on Fire Stick. It should be on Apple. It'll be on Roku. But to get to Roku, Apple, you mean going straight through their apps? Well, through their distribution.
Through their distribution.
Yeah.
But if somebody wanted to just look you up and say, let me look up American New, typically what search engine?
I'm on the website right now.
Maybe Google.
Google, right. And Google owns YouTube, right?
Yeah.
So Google, anytime Google, this sounds like you would be a direct competitor to YouTube, right?
I mean, they put him right at the top when you search it. So.
Right.
But
so
YouTube, a Tubi, one of those.
But if you're,
load stuff, like,
let me put myself over here.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm YouTube, if I'm Google, and I own YouTube, and I see a competitor coming off from the side, I'm running, and I see this competitor coming up on the side of me, and I got the power to do that, trip you, and get away with it, I'm going to do it. If I got an opportunity to hit you with a boat,
yeah, but I'm going to punch you in the back of your head.
I'm going to do it.
You know, if somebody hit you in the back of the head for that, I'm not going to just let that happen.
But check this out.
You know, I'll be like, boom!
And
you know what I'm saying?
I respect that, but I want you to tell me, after I tell you this, I want you to tell me how you going to bow me in the back of the head when I tell you this.
But
No, we're talking about
you in the back of the head.
We're talking metaphorically. Yeah. But listen, this is what I'm saying. Okay, say I see the competitor coming up on the side of me.
How did Tubi do it?
And now I'm gonna say,
We're not. Okay, here's the difference.
I'm gonna say. Let me make the point first. But I'm gonna say, yo, let me hit these filters so that Dame's people can't reach him as much as they want to. Let me make sure that they have a problem getting over there because Google controls the algorithm. They control the filters. They can. This is why it's been so. Trust me, I am not trying to discourage. I just believe that if we are to do our thing, I think that we need an entire new search engine because if we're going to go up against Google, if we're going to go up against YouTube, we need a different search engine than Google, and it needs to be Black-owned and controlled because otherwise, if people have to go find us, just like almost every other
Here's the difference.
every other company in this country
with guys
and
like
world,
you and I,
you got to search.
With guys like you and I, right? Google will be for people that don't know us, right? Because they'll know how to get to us because they know us. So I have a direct-to-consumer relationship to the people that I know.
Okay.
If, like, as far as the algorithm goes, for some reason I'm in that algorithm that I pop up. I don't pay for that or any of those things.
Right. I just saw you right at the top.
It's a fight for independence. It's inspiration, and it's self-awareness, and it's positive. Because we have the ability to do what we need to do with the ads, we could also control algorithms as well. So when I get into a game, I've already, like again, you go on somebody's block, it's easy to call the police. You just got to deal with that type of shit. It's part of the game. So I know that there's always a competitor doing something, but my work to me is so good that I'm going to get there and there's nothing they can do about it. I watch a Tubi, there's no creatives over there. That's just an ad agency that put together and there's no genius there, and they went and got bought by Fox. Only thing that they would do is try to buy me. But the difference between me and YouTube is that I'm not just taking any work. Anyone could get on YouTube. This is more of a Netflix situation where I got to like it to put it on. I'm not just doing that with everybody.
Okay, and that's what I just saw. Okay.
Again, most of the people, I'm only trying to talk to generals that have armies.
Okay.
So I'm talking to people that have their own connect relationship
Fan
completely
base.
with like a Billy Carson, a 19 Keys, Earn Your Leisure. You know, people that already have made a community. We just got to all stick together and we make our own algorithm that way. Yeah. So there's a lot of verticals that come with it. I mean, like everyone is supposed to have a podcast and a streaming service. It's just a vertical of your ancillary things that you do. It's like one thing. Every company should have a podcast, should have a streaming service, should have a website, should have a YouTube channel. It all comes with the game. But I'm saying, regardless to what, if I get 1,000 people, it's more money made than 1 million people on YouTube because we get the full benefit of the ad. So I don't have to sell nickels. I'm going to sell weight.
Yeah, I absolutely get it.
But I want to get, I asked you, because I'd be like, yo, when the people that are on YouTube, they're talking about being smart. And I'd be like, but how much of your ad do you get? And nobody knows. So what's smart about that? Yeah. You know, that's why I'm like, if I can't tell you how much is being made, I'm not doing it. I'm getting robbed.
In my defense,
not you.
I'm not
don't
smart.
take it personal.
Hold on.
Yeah,
I got to because the people probably gonna get in the comments and be like, So I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. I ain't trying to be smart. I'm acting like I'm trying to get smart. I'm trying to be smart. I'm just trying to be smart. I ain't there all the way.
But that's
not there all the way.
I'm
trying to be smart. But you're absolutely right about that split. You know, it's ridiculous. But at this, so it's either you deal with it or you go do your own thing or you just quit. You leave it alone. Right. And quitting is not an option, right? And that's the spirit that I love from Dame and Dash. I mean, dude, have you thought about going into Deion Sanders' locker room and talk to those players?
I don't think they need it. Deion doing a great job.
But he still brings people in to inspire, to motivate the
if
players.
He asked me, I would definitely come to it. It's a high place to be right now.
I'm putting it out there right now, dude. Like, a person sit and listen to you for any amount of time.
You're not going to Colorado.
Dude.
Don't do
that.
Man,
you're going to feel like you can do something. I mean, you make a midget think he can dunk a basketball.
they can.
You know what I'm saying?
Figure it out.
If
They really want
if
to,
they got a
gonna
little
figure
help,
that out.
If they got a little help, you know what I'm saying?
They
Got a
can get
little
there. But I know what you're
springboard or
saying,
something
yeah.
like that. But man, where did that spirit come from, though, bro? Like, was there a person in your life that you looked at and said, I want to be like that guy, you know, I want to take some of those attributes that he have or she has and, you know, mold this person that I want to become?
It's a collective of people. So it's like, you know, I remember who I looked up to when I was in the street and why. You know, it was a respect that came with honor that I really liked a lot. And I was kind of like, I'm born into a family that didn't take L's like that. So I've only seen W's from my family. I've never seen anyone in my family get bullied ever. I've only seen my family bullying, white or black. So I never saw abuse happening this way. I only saw it getting administered. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, so anywhere, anybody in my family generally has somewhat of that kind of an energy. But I was able to go get myself educated because they put in so much work so that I didn't have to do all the shit that they did. And I still chose a different path for a little while just from instincts. But I knew that when I went to like private school, I was around white people young and I wasn't impressed. And I saw how they were impressed with me. So I was like, I actually thought I was like, damn, I must be this strong because I'm black and they're white. I wonder if I could be this strong around black people. That's why I hit the hood, just to prove to myself that, you know, and unconsciously I was insecure about it. I wanted to know if these hands worked with black people. You know, I thought it was just because I always thought it was just because they couldn't dance. I always looked at it like they was my food. You understand what I'm saying? So I was like, so I'm like looking at it, I'm like, why is y'all thinking these guys are tough? Like, that's why I used to get at Harvey Weinstein. And you see, I'm the guy that calls those guys out.
Right.
So I'd be like, how y'all think this guy's tough? And y'all, you know what I mean? I don't get it. So, you know, there were things that Russell did that I liked a lot. There was things that Muhammad Ali did that I loved. I observed him. There was things that Martin Luther King did that I loved because he was beefing in the town that it was going down. He was in the church while I was outside talking. It's easy to talk about white people when they're not in front of you and you're not in the battle. I might not be so strong in Alabama or whatever. You know what I mean? But he was there like that, and I liked the way he got people. I was like, how did he get black people to get just hit and watered down? It was such a genius plan to embarrass whoever was abusing them by not hitting, because I know what it's like. It's like if somebody hit me soft and I knocked them out, now I'm the bad guy just because I defended myself. So it was like, how did you get a whole lot of black people just to, you know, understand the strategy in that? And it worked so well, you know. So, and then it's Farrakhan, you know. Farrakhan taught me about farming. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we've never talked about the other stuff. We just talk about why is it that we don't learn how to grow our own food? How do we trust our oppressor to feed us? And why is it that we got to eat all these GMO seeds? And I go to his farm and I see children and people like growing, and it's a beautiful thing. And I'm like, damn, they never show that side. Because that's the side that we don't know how to. We don't control the stuff that makes us live. We don't know who makes our food, our medicine. You know, we generally don't own our buildings. We're here. We're just renting life, and that's the way they want it. And we're not conscious of that.
Renting life is crazy.
Some people be like, man, if there's a war, whatever, I'm going to just go be a farmer. Man, I lived on the farm for 2 months or a month just to observe. That is not an easy thing. You can't just say I'm going to be a farmer. That's like...
No, you got to hear that, though. Like, you got to really hear that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I am a word connoisseur. I am a... Ooh. I am a verbal appreciator. You know what I mean? Like, I am a sentence saver. You feel? He said people are renting life as opposed to owning it. People aren't really owning their life. They are renting it. They are paying for something that they don't really possess. That's not really theirs. It belongs to somebody else, and yet you're paying to be in it. When you should own your life. You should really possess it. It should be yours. Nobody should be able to come up and claim it from you. Nobody should be able to kick you out of it.
Saying I'm just gonna be a rapper and get a platinum record, or I'm gonna just get in the music business. It's a lot of different elements there. So we have to learn the fundamentals, and we can't forget that in history we were winning, and we can't let them erase that. So even down to the way we interpret the name Jesus, that's a European interpretation of the name. His name is Joshua. Why no one calls me Damien, anything but Damon wherever I go in the world? Why would we have to now say somebody's name with a European interpretation of the name and it didn't happen in Europe? That doesn't make sense other than control. How could you tell, if somebody tells me they're a fan of mine and they calling me Damien, I'm going to be like, my name's Damon. How could you really be a fan of mine? You're not calling me by my real name. So how could you get a full blessing? You're calling this man by his wrong name because we've been programmed to. You understand what I'm saying? You know, again, when it was a time when white people or the other culture were slaves, and the Moors did them dirty. But did they ever teach you about a Moor in school? No more Moors. You don't even, because they don't want to see that visual of us winning, because that's what you do when you take over a culture. You take their religion, you erase their heroes, their artifacts, and anything they ever did strong, and you make them think that they've never been strong and they've always been weak and they've always needed you. And that's how they did this to us. Look how strong we are. Why are we listening to them?
Well, that's the only way it would work. They'd have to discredit us in order to justify the mistreatment.
And they make us discredit ourselves.
They have to do that. Yeah, right. And they're so good at it that they've actually convinced a lot of us to actually aid them in destroying our image.
Leo Cohen. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I look at those people that are exploiting our dysfunction and making money for it for a living their whole life. When I see a man that's not from our culture never make money off his own culture and only ours, why you only want to get money on my block? Go get money on your own block. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to trust somebody from someplace else to do and take care of my hood. They don't care about my hood. They're not from here. They're just making money from it. And we continuously think that somebody that's from another culture is the plug for our music, for everything that we do. We got to go to them to get back to us. That's the program I watch them push. So I'm like, I'm just not a Johnny like that. I'd rather fight. I'd rather fight all night. You know what I'm saying? Then go home and be like, yo, this sucker just told me what to do, and I got to internalize that. My girl just saw that. My kid just saw that when he come through. You know how many people I see that talk tough in the street and then they get in front of certain people and they get this stupid-ass voice like they're a weatherman. And I'm like, why you talking like that when this man walk in the room? You don't talk like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you changing yourself? They should change when they talk to us. So a lot of what I do is watch your mouth with a Leor and certain people. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Tread lightly here. Because you have to have a certain amount of respect. You controls nothing here. This is our culture. You ain't gonna tell me what to do, pause, or who to do it with. Your enemies ain't my enemies, like Mandela said. I ain't got to be mad at everybody you mad at, but you don't got to be mad at everybody I'm mad at. And another thing, we're programmed to only make products for us. So every single black person that has a business makes it for black people. That's not enough people and too many people trying to hustle on the same block. We got to be able to make products for everybody. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's the issue. We are programmed to think we can only do things for us. We can only lead us, and everything we do and that we make could be for us. That's why it's called America New. The new America is for everybody, but it's us that are the landlords. That's the difference.
Yeah, you're definitely changing the narrative, man. You're definitely doing your part to change the narrative. But sometimes you have to feel overwhelmed, though.
All the time, but it's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's not an overwhelming thing. It's just too much to do.
But you perform
I
well
feel
under
that.
pressure. It's like you welcome pressure. And I like what you said a while back when you was talking about how you expect things to be difficult. You expect things to be bad. A lot of people wake up every day and they think the world is just going to be, the world is just going to welcome them with open arms and it's going to be polite to them and everything is going to go great.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, but I operate similar to the way you do. I expect bad things to happen. I expect life to be difficult on a daily basis, and when it does, I don't panic because I expected that. I expected it. A lot of people, when they don't expect that, and something happened, they panic.
I know.
And they lose control and they become desperate and things like that. So by expecting these things to happen, by expecting something to not always be easy, I'm able to actually deal with a lot of these things easily. I see Steve Rogers here. He owns a club, multiple restaurants and venues in the city, and every day he's putting out fires. He knows that. Being in the business as long as he's been in the business,
That's what a boss does.
he knows that he's going to have to put out fires, and he wouldn't be able to do and be able to operate at his optimum if he didn't understand that. And you just mentioned boss, but here's the thing. I've heard you talk about how first of all, you are a boss, but depending on the context, you don't like the word boss. It's one of the words that irks you because you don't like the idea of
I don't like somebody else being my boss.
You don't like somebody else being your boss. But
That's not going to happen.
But it seems like to me you also, even though technically you are the boss, it seems like you have a problem with that word, period.
Well, I don't have a problem with the word. I just, like when people work, I'll say they work with me. Like you can't work with me unless you have a dream. Unless you want to be the boss of your own, because you're helping me with my dream. And how could you fight for my dream if you ain't fighting for your own? You won't. So I got to watch you fight for your dream. And I don't pay people enough to even be able to retire to work. You only work with me because I can give you an opportunity and I want you to exploit that. So if you don't, and I tell people around me, like, if you have a dream and you're fighting for it and you're around someone that doesn't, all they're going to do is distract you. They have nothing to talk to you about. What are they going to talk to you about that's going to help your dream? All they will do is talk to you about things that will distract you because they have nothing to talk about that they're fighting for. So you have to have a collective of people that are dreaming and fighting for a war, or else they're going to distract you from the war. When I'm having conversations with people in this moment, not always, but right now, I've been investing in this network for 10 years, way over $20 million, and that's out my pocket. And I'm waiting for this thing to turn around. So I already did the record label. I know what that yields. It doesn't do it. I do the fashion. I know what it yields. All those things can only be ancillary things, a division of. But I can't be my business model because it doesn't make enough money unless you're robbing your artists. So when you hear people say, I just sold someone else's masters for a lot of money, they just robbed their artists. You understand what I'm saying? I never took none of my artists' masters. So could you imagine me with Jay-Z's masters or Kanye's masters or any one of the masters? I'd be a trillionaire. But see, the thing about it is, if you keep a creative rich, you get Kanye, you get Jay-Z. Creatives have ideas all day. They just can't make them happen because they ain't got no money, and then they got to get robbed to do it, and it doesn't become the idea they want. So I always wanted to keep my artists rich because it's so interesting what they do when they have money, when the ideas come to fruition. I don't think I deserve to make so much money off somebody else. That's why I had to start doing my own thing. I gave everybody a 15-year head start. Like, I'll help y'all get there so I can have a little competition. Now the games begin. Now I'm going to work on my brain. And that's what I've been doing. So we get to make books. I get to be with principals. I get to do art. I get to do fly shit. As soon as I pulled up, I already knew this was a collective because I do collective. So as soon as I pulled up, I asked myself, that looks like a collective. I already knew it was a collective because I do it. I've been doing it. I've been opening up art galleries since 2005. I like to do different things. I like to start from scratch and just to see if I could do it. So if I could do it like this, I want to see if I could do it like this. So I'm doing it like this now. Because I already did it like this in my 18 when I was a teenager. It's too easy. If I could go and do all of this that quick, then I got to go dream bigger. And it just takes a long time. The bigger your dream is, the longer it takes to realize yourself, the more money you got to put out. When you're ahead, you have to wait for a whole world. Because I've been doing streaming since like literally, before I had a television network on.
Spoiler alert, emotional support animals are 100% real, legal, and here to
On YouTube before they were monetizing, before they were commercials. Creative Control with Cootie and Shike. You know, that was 2005. I've literally been smoking weed and waiting for everyone to catch up this whole time. I had a streaming service before Netflix. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I learned, the paid subscription doesn't work. It got to be free. But you got to have the ad plug. I can't make no money getting the 1% and then breaking that with somebody. It don't make no sense. So my point to all of that is, yeah, I've been injecting, working. I haven't caught that lick in a minute, and I'm still all right. And when this thing turns, I should catch right back up. But what you know is, cause what have I tried to do and come out with? I've been practicing. I can show you a rock and roll project that I just did with Freeway, a movie that I just directed that I just put out in theaters myself. I can show you a book that we just made, a comic book, a magazine, a clothing line, some sneakers, some glasses, all these things done on my own, no funding, no none of that. I made a whole independent boutique conglomerate. Now I might be all right with getting a partner, but I have something tangible. It's there. There's something that I could, I could predict how much money I think it's going to make. But I had to have all of those things, because why have a television network and not be able to put my own commercials for a product that I own right next to someone that someone else owns? My ads go right with Nike. Meaning if I got sneakers, ad right next to Nike.
True.
You know? If Raiders of the Lost Ark is coming out, Prince of Detroit is right there, movie. My point is, on every vertical, I'm showcasing how creative I am. I'm not even a great businessman. I just like being creative, but I'm gonna be free. You can't do what you want unless, and you can't do what you want in a house unless it's yours. If you don't own that house, you can't do what you want. So I would rather own a small house than have to be in somebody else's big house and can't go in the refrigerator and walk around without my clothes on. Pause. You know what I mean? I would rather just have a nice little joint and have it decorated correctly, but it's mine. You know? And I could build it at my choice. If I mess up the floors, it's my floors to mess up. So I get to burn while I learn. When I made Honor Up, that cost me $1 million out my pocket. I learned that it only should cost me $200. But if it was somebody else's money, I couldn't have done that. You know what I mean? I would never get hired to be a CEO. I would never get hired to be a director. I would never get hired to make a sneaker. No one's hiring me to do anything that I've ever done. So that's why you have to be an entrepreneur to make your dreams come true. Because if you dream that you want to be the president, because I always wanted to be the president, but not of the United States, just the president of something that's mine, my own country. It could be this big, as long as I'm the president. You understand what I'm saying? So in order for me to be the president of anything, I had to create a company. And then I was able to make myself the CEO. Now I'm the chairman. You can call yourself what you want when it's yours. You can make any title. Or I'm able to give my son my music vertical, Blue Rock Music. If it wasn't mine, I wouldn't have nothing to give him. Here, take that. I actually create companies based on my kids' dreams. So I have to be well-versed in everything. So again, I'm good at, music is my thing. Fashion is my thing. Movies is my thing. You got to remember, I put Kevin Hart on. Lee Daniels. I discovered I funded his first movie and put Kevin in the first 2 movies. So I'm kind of savvy in a lot of things. So if I put all of that on a network, then everything you see, I should also be selling. If we're wearing clothes, I'm making the clothes. If we drinking liquor,
Willie, this is your chance to connect them. Talk about putting Kevin Hart on. Talk about where you. Talk about
that liquor. You smoking weed, I should have that brand. Anything you see is a commercial for something I'm gonna buy, down to the music. And to me, that's all a creative art. For me to be able to make a record, make a movie, make the clothes in the movie, make the music in the movie, be able to distribute the movie, be able to edit the movie,
and there was
all of that is just me having fun.
He just took that,
and then be able to monetize it. I've never been a businessman, or else I'd do anything I could for money. See, a true business.
Hold up, for those who don't understand, all right. If you know anything about the Cat Williams thing, if you don't, then I'm speaking gibberish right now. I'm Charlie the Brown teacher. If you know what I'm talking about, the Kevin Hart situation, and Cat Williams about him calling Kevin Hart an industry plant. Kevin Hart is from Philadelphia. Dame Dash, was running Rockefeller. And for a minute, him and Jay-Z started grouping all these Philly people, Beanie Siegel, Freeway, Young Guns, PD Crack. It was a bunch of them. It was a whole Philly wave. Took that state. It's called State Property. It was music and movies and clothes. It was music, movies, and clothes. They had Rockaware. I don't know what the music. I mean, the movie distribution was called, but they was making different type of movies with State Property 1, State Property 2, Paper Soldiers. So they was making movies. Kevin Hart was in Paper Soldiers. I believe he was in State Property 1. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that one, but I know he was in Paper Soldiers for sure. And that's the first time I really remember seeing him in a movie. So that was my introduction to Kevin Hart. So he started there. And then from that, since Dame and Jay-Z was already, had their name in music, they could have took him over to Hollywood for the movies. And he said he funded the movies. I don't know if the movie that he talking about is Soul Plane, but if he is talking about Soul Plane, then Dame helped Kevin Hart star in his first movie. There you go. And from there, Kevin Hart took off. That could be the link. That could be it right there.
Businessman does anything they could for money. They compromise. They'll bite their lip and let somebody talk to them a certain way. That's not me. I can't be a businessman because honestly, it's like it's my integrity before the money. Right. And that might not be the best thing, but I know my kids love me, and I'm the president in my house.
Right. You mentioned having fun, and we used to see you in the videos back in the Gap, always having fun, popping the crystal and all that type of stuff.
Doing it last night.
Yeah, but we used to see that publicly with the videos and stuff, and we don't see that much as now. Like now, when typically we see you in public, you checking somebody, you talking about some major venture that you have, and it's serious. A lot. We see a lot more serious Dame. Is that? I guess you just answered that because I was going to ask you: is that fun Dame kind of more reserved for your friends and family, the close people?
It's just that y'all always see me in the ring. They don't show nothing else. So when before there was Instagram, they only show clown Champagne Dame. So if you ever look at my interviews, I'd be like, I don't know why y'all only show me, popping bottles, and y'all never show the business I do. They never did that. Another thing they never showed was I was a single dad the whole time, taking care of a little boy, my son. They never said that, because to me that was the thing I was the most proud of. How come they never talk about that? I went to court, got my son, and do all this Rockefeller stuff. I take my kid to school every day and take pride in that. They never talked about that. So that's why, like, a person that's looking for freedom, once the internet, I knew the future of the internet as soon as I retired. I retired from playing these games. I'm like, now I can control my own narrative. And once I could, now you see how I'm looked at. So if there wasn't me speaking on me and controlling my narrative, you would think Champagne Dame, loud, stupid, and broke, living in the shelter.
His first movie was Paper Soldiers.
They don't show no. They never put anything in the paper but my bills, at all. And I'd be proud. I'd be like, yeah, I'm cracked. I just invested $100 million. So what? That's like I just bought 30 cakes, 30 bricks in the street. You a don for that. But of course they're gonna make you think somebody winning being independent is losing because they don't want you to be independent.
Facts.
You got dumbasses like Vlad TV keep saying my name because I'm clickbait. Woo! Because for some reason, like, why do they respect this guy so much? Why does a Leor and a Vlad, people from other cultures, always question what I do and want people to remember me a certain way? Because no one remembers you. Because I've controlled my narrative by being consistent and fighting for the people I love. Nobody understands the love I get because they don't give no love. Respect. You don't understand how to get love unless you know how to give it. So they don't even get it. Yeah, I know I'm loved because I love my people. If I didn't love my people wouldn't love me. I'm not going to make money with you or you spend money with me. Anytime you spend money with me, I want you educated. I want you to buy something with me because I can eat, and then you can go and actually make whatever I taught you into some money. So that's what happens. Whenever I get caught up, whenever I have to promote one of my products, I end up trying to talk to the culture because whoever, usually like, in the masses or that's working corporate, they're always asking me something that behooves corporate. And it's like trying to trigger me and trying to get that viral moment. Well, now I'm going to make you the viral moment by being smart. See, the trick is to go viral by doing something smart, not dumb. You could go viral by getting punched in the face or punching in the face or being violent or doing some dumb shit any day. That's cheating. But do something smart. Create a new algorithm. Not for dysfunction, for evolution. Let's see you be an artist. Do that. Because that's the only thing that's gangster to me.
For sure.
All the real gangsters I know, they always want to do good. They only doing what they got to do. But once they don't have to, they usually don't. So I'm not trying to be looking at my culture continue to make money from, like, I'm not fighting no other black men. That's done. Because I know even if I want to, I'm not doing it. Unless it's with gloves. Because that's what they want us to do. Irv was talking shit about me, and Page Six was calling me like, Irv was talking about you. What you got to say to that? I said, I spoke at Harvard yesterday. Right about that. But when two black men might have a disagreement, you're going to put that in the newspaper so we could... You understand what I'm saying?
As I mentioned earlier, you're very
this guy,
passionate,
bro.
and when it comes to our people, and
this might be my last
it's
Willie
easy
D
to see
interview.
how
It's
much
only
you
'cause
care,
Dame is here.
how much you genuinely care about our
I just
people.
don't like nerds punking
Hopefully
us.
he gets better. Hopefully he gets better,
Here's
man.
a question that I have. Knowing how much that you love our people and how passionate you are and how passionate you are about
Who is this
us
guy?
getting our respect, how did you reconcile what you heard Kanye say when Kanye said that slavery was a choice? Well, how did you? And I know Kanye is a good friend of yours, so
Number one, he's bipolar.
How did you deal with that?
I had a conversation with him.
Okay.
So number one, and I had a conversation with Van. So I can show you. I brought Van to and I said, let's talk about this. Now, that man is bipolar. Why would you bring him to TMZ and ask him questions while you know he's triggered? He's clinically bipolar, number one. Number two, I say slavery is a choice right now, but not slavery is a choice back then, right now. For us to think that there are masters is our choice right now. But I don't think he meant back then. But again,
I can accept that. I can accept that.
And that's the thing, is like sometimes I would have conversations with Kanye and he would kind of say what I'm saying, but say it wrong. So it's the context, but you always have to give that man, and even though he's a billionaire, it doesn't mean that he's not bipolar. And he's not going to say he's bipolar, and he's going to get mad at me for saying it, but he's bipolar. Because I've had to deal with it. I've seen it. So I'm like, yo, why? Has anybody ever dealt with somebody that's bipolar? The one thing you don't do when somebody's triggered is put them in front of cameras. The most dangerous thing for a bipolar person is money. A billionaire bipolar means while you're bipolar, everyone's still listening to you. A broke bipolar, they putting you in the room until the ambulance comes. But, if you're making $5-6 million a year with this man, bipolar or not, certain people are still listening. That's why y'all keep listening to him right now. Y'all know he's triggered. Y'all know he's, you know what I mean? It is, I don't care what he's saying. Nobody that's bipolar says they're bipolar while they're triggered. No one admits it, like, oh, I'm bipolar, I'm having an attack right now. Nah, they just start bugging out. So why would you, like, that's the problem I had with people around him. I'm like, why y'all keep putting him in front of the camera when he's triggered? And I'd have to be the person to say, yo, get off the ranch.
Man, I'm really glad that I'm having this conversation with you about Kanye, because I be going in on Kanye ass. And I don't want to go in on Kanye, but I love my people too. And when I feel like we're under attack, I don't care what the ethnicity of the person is. I'm going in.
He deserves it.
Yeah.
He doesn't not want you to go in on him. He does that so you do that. He's a person that pulls triggers. Look at his career. George Bush doesn't like black people. Ran up on Taylor Swift. There's one publicity stunt after another. That's his model, is triggering you. The more, just like Trump. Every time Trump says something racist and we hate it, somebody loves it. He's not talking for us. He's talking for the ones that love it, Trump. You understand what I mean? So it's the same thing. That's why I don't pay him. Like, I already know with him, if, let's say he says, let's do something, sends an order to somebody. If they get it right the first time, he's still going to say he don't like it. Because he's just troll. He's a troll. He got everybody dressing like a crackhead, bro. He's doing this shit on purpose. That's why I be like, don't do that, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I know what you're doing. You trolling. He walking around barefooted. He's trolling. He's like, watch this. I could get dudes to wear tights and barefoot. I'm like, I don't know you can do that one.
Thanks.
But he, I'm not saying we had that combo. I'm like, when I see it, I'm like, yo, he bugging, but I know he's playing. You know? He wants you to get at him. He does it on, why would he do the things he does if he doesn't want the reaction? And another thing I wanted to say to you, point, you box, right?
Yeah.
You know that if you brace your face, the punch usually doesn't knock you out. It's the ones you don't see that knock you out. Mm-hmm. So that's why in life, if you walk around with your face out, my shit is just braced because I know I'm going to get hit. So that's the thing. When you get into a ring, you know you're going to get hit. It doesn't mean you stop. It means you block, hit, and then you hit back. Getting hit is part of the game. That's why I love boxing. It's one-on-one and it's life. It's about your stamina, not your skill. You know, the skill is important, but the stamina is way more. You understand what I mean? If you can't pass a minute, it's over. You could look good for 30 seconds, but once you tired and somebody on your head, what you gonna do? And everybody's looking? Nothing.
Well, if you have two people that are skilled and have stamina, the person who's most skilled is going to win that fight.
True. But if they both skilled and one has less stamina and he runs out of gas,
absolutely,
he going.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, the skill. If they both are, if you have both, then yeah, you're gonna win. But if you don't have stamina, you can't go 14 or 10 rounds. You can't. You could go 1 or 2. That's why I could never really box because I didn't want to run. Like I said, I'll get in the ring and give you a minute or 3. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you 1, but you know what I'm saying? After that, everything. You know what it is when you just lose. You be like, oh man, when is this round gonna be over? You know what I mean? Once it gets to that point, you're done. Yeah. So so my point is, life is a fight. You have to have stamina. You should have some skill, and you're gonna get hit, but you gotta hit back. You better block, brace your face when you get hit, because you will, but it won't knock you out. If you act like a punch isn't coming and you're not gonna see it, you're gonna end up waking up on the floor. And that's life.
Is Stacey Dash really your cousin, man?
No.
Yeah.
Is she?
First cousin. She's on my nerves, bro.
She's your first cousin.
Yeah.
Is she bipolar?
Oh, wow.
I think so.
Yes.
But it's my cousin. I'll just tell you this. I'm going to say it like this. I know you've been to a family function and you're at the table and there's always that one uncle or aunt that's just outrageous and has the crazy opinion and y'all argue, but they still sit at the table and you still love them. That's Kanye and Stacey Dash. I don't agree with not a lot of things they say and not a lot of things they do. But
They family not
he's
so
still
well.
my brother
Yeah.
and that's still my cousin. I don't agree with
Stacey Dash, though, man. Stacey Dash. I think if Stacey Dash was my cousin, I'd get my other cousins to jump her. I'd get my girl cousins to jump her, dog.
Why? How you know we have it?
Okay. All right. Well, we'll leave it at that. Allegedly.
I didn't say anything. I just say how you know. You know, again, how do you carry things in your family, but it always stays in your family?
Yeah.
So, again, publicly, that's my cousin. I don't agree. Privately, we deal with things accordingly.
Gotcha. When it's time for you to go and you ain't got no more, how do you want to be remembered?
As a conqueror, a warrior, like Alexander the Great, but like,
For better reasons.
because
A better production.
that
Better
won
product.
till the day, you know what I mean? Like Julius Caesar. You know, back in those days,
Are you naming these?
no matter how much
white
money you had,
well,
you weren't famous unless you won a war. You had no respect
I
unless
let
you
them
fought
have
for your
it.
country.
They conquered.
So
Even though
my
it was the
respect
wrong
comes from my fight for my
outcomes.
culture, which is like my country.
Let's take
And
that
you
and
know,
do better with it.
like a Malcolm X / Steven Spielberg. You know, like I don't think anyone's ever seen anything like me before. I don't think you'll ever see another person that loves so many different creative things and does them well, but also loves his people, that will also embarrass the people that everyone else is kind of scared to, that's oppressing us, and, you know, that hasn't lost his mind. You know, because, again, you're right, it's a lot of things, and if you don't enjoy it, unless you really want those things, then it would drive you nuts. I find that most people that are unhappy broke are unhappy rich. You know what I mean? So I'm just a happy guy. And when it's time, I don't think I'm extra tough. I'm not here. I'm not running around shaking nobody down or nothing like that. I just feel like every man is equal and treat me as such. But unless you're being a man and doing the man stuff, it's going to be hard for me to look at you as one.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ain't taking care of your kids and you're cheating and you're doing things I don't respect, you're a soldier. You don't talk general. You talk soldier. You're not going to understand what I'm saying. Unless you cut a check to somebody, then it's hard. And if you're a person that's only had checks given to you and you never ever paid nobody, you'll never understand what it is to be a boss. You'll never understand why I'm mad. So most people that are entrepreneurs understand me. Most soldiers don't. It ain't meant for you to understand me. Stay in your lane. A soldier should never talk to a general like that. Or a soldier should aspire to be a general, and I'll help you. You understand what I mean? Everyone has the ability to be a general. Everyone has that fight. It's just the fear that usually stops them. So if you're a wild dog and you eat the food you kill every day, and you walk up and you see a dog getting fed on a leash, you laughing at that dog on that leash. I get to be the wild dog that laughs at the ones on the leash that come out the big house. I still laugh at them. No amount of money is not going. I'm still going to laugh at you. I don't care how much money you got. You a joke to me because you're on a leash and you're trained and you drink out of a milk bowl. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this, man. I never even thought about this, man. But have you ever, and I mean this respectfully, have you ever thought about doing stand-up comedy?
I do. You want me to show you me cutting Kevin Hart up?
Funny as hell, man.
I used to do. I have a show that I did with Smokey called Mixed Nuts Pause.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, he'd have all these comedians. I'd be like, listen, I'm gonna open up. If y'all not funnier than me, you got to get out of here because I'm not a comedian. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm funnier than you, you got to go. So I would never do official stand up. But I definitely cut niggas' ass. Pause, like we snap. I'm from Harlem, so that's what we do.
Right.
But yeah, I'm definitely the comedian killer. You know what I mean? And I'm 51 now, so it's too late. Whoever wants to get theirs back can't, because I'm too old now. I'll be a bully. You'll be bullying me. But yeah, get it. Like I said, I've been to Pause. My crew, like all of us, all the funny stuff that we do is went into pop culture, down to slang. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm not a comedian, but I definitely put comedians in movies, and I'll be in the movie with a comedian.
Jokes.
I got jokes. We definitely snap.
Yeah, man, you definitely snapped in this interview, man, and you are definitely one of our best, man.
Thank you.
We've all been blessed with your presence, bro.
Thank you.
Thank God for your mother and father. You are a true general, and thank you for your service.
I appreciate that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Damon Dash.
All right.
No more talk.
Critics and audiences agree The Beekeeper is some of the most fun you can have at the movies.
What's the body?
Chill. All right, that was Dame Dash interview. That was the full joint, you know what I'm saying? I dropped the little snippet earlier and then this day, because I'm dropping this one, the full joint lit. It'll be later that night, you know what I mean? Same day, same videos, one shorter than the other, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But, Dame always dropping gems, so I had to, see that full interview. Glad I did, because, yeah, he hit me with a couple things that is like, I'm going to have fun processing. But people renting their life is crazy. Please own your life. Comment down below what you thought of the interview, you know what I mean? What was your thoughts? Tell me some of the gems that you picked up on, you know what I mean? What's some of the insights that helps you see better, you feel me? If you got any gems of your own, let me know. You know what I mean? We here to help each other grow. You feel me? That's the collective. That's what it's all about. That's what the interview is about. That's what the message is about. That's what our core. That's what it's all about. For real. I mean, we all coming to be better in life. To own our life, and not be renters of our life. Own your life. Possess it. And with that, I say good day, and I say.